Hello everybody, welcome back to Adobe Live with the at a whole lovely spiel laid out, and as soon as you try to think about it, it disappears. Welcome back, it's me pixipui. We've got the After Effects challenge this week, a slightly different one than the one we had last time. We're gonna create something more related to a vlogging MOGRT, although this could be used in any capacity. But before we begin, let me say hello to both of the chats, the YouTube and the Behance chat. Welcome on in, Clark Brown. Welcome, welcome. For those that have been here before and are used to it, I am going to be giving you a file, so check the description or check the chat. One of the mods will drop down this week's latest downloadables as we get into it. Oliver, Sean, Rick, hello, hello. I hope you enjoyed the stream that was on just before. Sean. Okay, I'm excited. I have to drop by. I'd love to see Uma doing all the tings. Hello, Yassas. Welcome on in. Okie doke. I think we're ready. We've done our introductions. And as always, I would like some help from you lot in the chat. I need colors again and maybe some shapes. But let's talk about what we're going to be doing today. Today, we're making some vlog MOGRTs. Like I said before, we do have some template files that are inside the description or inside the chat when the mod pops it in there, but check the description so you can grab your file. Once you have it, you'll be greeted with an expression tip and a vlog MOGRT file. Now, you don't necessarily have to download these if you don't want to, but if you would like to and have the template or things, please go ahead. This is your call to action now. Great, hold on. You lot always coming up with the... Okay, at least it's not purple this time, Oliver. You've been going for purple all the time. Welcome, Yassas. I'm the Londoner. I'm one of the Londoners on the American Adobe channel. Very interesting how that's ended up happening. So we're going to the first step. Step 1. We are going to plan it. I think I want to add a text box, some animated parts, maybe like a frame or something like that. So I've got this file. You don't need a file like this. I would have just sketched it out, but I don't have a camera on my ceiling to look at my hands. So we're going to do it this way just to give you a bit of an idea. Normally, when you're about to do something, having a brief plan is really helpful. So how about MOGRTs for a cooking show with pots and pans? That could be so cute. I mean, if I had like a video related to pots and pans, that'd be really helpful. Really helpful. But let's say I want a frame of some type. I'm gonna write down what you've said, by the way, so I can actually keep that somewhere. There we go. We want green peas and orange. This is such a interesting mix. Okay, green peas, orange. Hi, Storm. Hi, Cody. Okay, there we go. So let's say we've got a frame. What kind of frame should we have, by the way? Should we have the brackets? We could have a full-on one. It could be pre-animated for us. By default, I'll go for this, but I'm going to take the colors for the further thing, but this is us planning it out. So I know I want a frame. I know I'm probably going to want a text box somewhere, and we are actually going to make a automated-ish text box. So when we type in it, it's going to change the size automatically, which will be great for reusability. I know in this particular kind of vloggy thing, I might want like those kawaii things on the face, so we could go for that. Thank you, Cody. And maybe, you know, like in the cooking shows, Rick, sometimes they'll have like an outline around something and then they'll have like the, wow, like the stuff sparking off. Maybe we could add one of those as well. So it looks like it's kind of sparking. We can move it around and have it emphasize a certain object. So now we've got these kind of things. All right. So we know we've got a frame, we've got a text box, maybe got some parts that we could animate. I think that would be those two. Some parts that we could animate. Pretty simple when we do it all divided up like this, isn't it? All right. Let's move on to step 2, hey? I'm in both places. Yeah, you are. Step 2. We're going to animate it. Thank you, Storm. So if you've got the templated file that I've given you, you'll notice that it already has stuff in it. You can drag it around, you can check it out just so you can see how it works. But we are going to be doing these ourselves. So you can either work with my one or make your own one from scratch. But since we know what we're doing here, I'm going to hide all of these because we don't really need this right now. What you can also do, if maybe you've got a sort of idea, maybe you've got a screenshot or a still frame of where things normally would go, like I do, you can drag it in temporarily to help you frame your stuff. So I'm going to have this in the background because I might use it later if I don't use it right now. So I can see twice as much. Okay, so the two colors I had was orange and green peas. So how about we plan and animate? I'm going to actually hide these ones as well to make it look cleaner. By clicking on the shy what nope one and clicking this, it looks like there's only the picture that I've added in. If you don't have a picture or you don't want to add one, you can turn it off. If the black screen is too much, you can click the transparency grid, but it's completely up to you. The cuteness indeed. Who said peas and oranges? It's actually, that's the colors that Mum tends to wear, isn't it? She loves orange and green together. I don't know why. Okay. Oh, I need one more color, by the way. Until then, I'm just going to use white for this. But let's say we're going to have a frame that goes around like this. So maybe I want it to be slightly rounded. So I'm going to open it up, go to stroke and change the line cap to rounded. So now a little bit nicer on the sides. To where not to eat? No. We want a picture for our text box. So I've got this here. I think I'm going to want one more. When you're doing shape related work, you might notice that you've already got a contents file. You can actually just duplicate what's in there already and move it into place if you want to. Oh, you know what? That's interesting. Hold on, let's make sure we've actually clicked the right one. There we go. So we could actually just take this and move it. But if it's not working quite the way you want it to, I might just duplicate it here, flip it, flip this one down as well. There we go. So now I've got kind of the shapes and such. You can, in some cases, you can actually copy the shape and paste it into the other one. But if it's not working as intended, it's okay to have them together like this because we can merge it in a really cool way. So for now, let's call this frame A. I'm going to call the other one frame B. And I'm going to link one to the other. That way, when I go to animate it, because I love the pulsating things, when I go to animate it, they're both going to move and then we can add that to our MOGRT later. Let's just animate all the things. So I know I want it to maybe back and then pop. So let's animate our scale. If this is its resting point, we'll pull it back a little bit. Then we'll make it extend past its point. Maybe go back in a little bit and then go back to the start. We'll take a quick look. It's too even at the moment, so we kind of want it to be a little bit more springy. So, boop. If we want a more boopy, first let's put easy ease on by clicking F9. I'm much more organized. Oh, am I really? I feel like, isn't that the #1 tip? You're supposed to lay all of your layers, right? So, boom. By holding Alt when you select all of your keyframes, you can make it faster or slower. I think I quite like it going slow back and a little bit faster out. This might be a little bit too dramatic. If you do end up in a case where you kind of want it to be a little bit less reactive, by making sure it's not going as far out, it's going to make it less even, make it a little bit more interesting to look at. There we go. Now here comes the smartness. You love the sassiness? I think that's my sister in spades, really. So if we want it to loop, since technically we want the MOGRT to kind of be on all the time, we can use an expression for this. I want it to repeat this forever and ever and ever and ever. I am going to hold Alt, click on the stopwatch, and underneath, I'm going to type loop. Select loop out. You're supposed to name your layers. I'm a rule breaker. Yeah, you are. Where's the rule breaking? So now if we take a look at this, it's not going to have a pause, which could be good. But if you do want it to have a pause, all you need to do is select your last frame, paste it, and the gap in between these two frames will be how long it waits before it repeats its cycle. Let's go back to the beginning. There we go. So if we want it to stop for a little bit longer, just drag out your last frame. But now it's doing it forever, which is great. Cool. We've done the frame, but we also wanted a text box. And this is the cool bit. The cool bit where I need the green and orange, which is such a strange combination. So we've got my frames. I'm going to give them a different color just so I'm not distracted. To make a text box that changes size when you type, layer 1 is still a name. I mean, yes, Oliver, but still, there's some finger pointing. Whoops. We are going to right click, go to new, and we'll pick on shape layer. I would like a fill for this. We'll go with that green that you suggested. And we'll just drag it anywhere. Doesn't really matter where we put it. And I'll turn off the stroke for now. Cool. So we've got our shape layer 1. I'll just call this the text box for now. And then we'll right click again and do new text. And I'm calling this your text. Now on the right hand side, my head might be blocking it. So let's pull this up a little bit. Whoops. We've got my paragraphs. My head. Oh no. Phew. There. We've got the paragraph set to the left hand side. This is going to be really helpful. So we'll keep it that way. But I am going to move my text slightly over a little bit. Now, if you downloaded the file that Cody Bear dropped down in the chat or in the Discord, in the description box, you'll end up with a code like this. All we're going to do is copy and paste it. But if you don't want to download it, what I'm going to do is leave this on the screen for a couple of seconds so you can pause it, write it down, and then do the thing. But I highly recommend you save a copy of that somewhere. So we're copying this. We're going to go to the text box. Thank you, Cody. We're going to click on rectangle, rectangle path, and we're going to hold Alt on the sides. And we're going to cover the entire whatever's in there, and we're going to paste on top of it. This code is technically already done, but the only thing we have to do is replace the name example within the quotations with whatever we named this, exactly how it's spelt, because that's what it's looking for. So we could either copy it, but I think I can get this correctly. Your text, now we've seen that the box has changed size. If you want to move your box upright, which would be really helpful, make sure you select the box's layer itself, and we'll just move it to fit our text box. Kind of make it fit somewhere inside there. Oh, Roland, amazing. Roland said After Effects comes with a pre-installed animation preset 2D text box that is responsive to text input. Ah, that's awesome. Okay, so you've got that, or if you're somebody that likes to make things from scratch, this is for you, for you. So now this will move how we want it to, but it's kind of weird looking. So what we're gonna do is go to our stroke and let's make it match the same color and increase our stroke width. The last thing we're going to do is connect the position now. But Roland, that's so cool. Thank you for letting me know. So I'm going to grab the second one that I've grabbed, which is under position, not the green peas. That will make it confused. So we're going to grab the one in position. Underneath our rectangle path, we are going to hold Alt, go to the expression down there, and we're going to paste on top of that too. We might have to move it once more though. So while selecting the main text box, let's go and push this back into place. We want the text to fit inside that blue box right there. Yep, use a preset or make your own. It's pretty cool. Okay, so now if we type, it does what you want it to do. Huzzah! But I want mine to be rounded, and I want to have like a shadow box as well. So in order for us to do that, we said green and orange. If we have green here, what color should the text be, by the way? Yes, learning how to code is awesome. If I want this to be rounded, all we have to do is open our rectangle, go to, just thinking about it, rectangle path, there we go, and we've got roundness. Now bear in mind, since we are making this for a automated situation, you could choose to have the user be able to make it rounded or not, but I know I'm going to want to keep it rounded. So we've got this bit rounded, and I want a shadow bit behind it. So all I'm going to do is click rectangle 1, duplicate it with Control D. I'm going to move it underneath, and with the move tool selected, I'm just kind of patting it over to the side, like down there. There we go. And I want this one to be orange. Chat colors. So I've got my main color there. Let's grab our fill and our stroke to be the same. So now I've got my Peapod situation here, where if we do choose to type, I'm looking for the text, there we go. Now the box is going to change size with the shadow in the back. Pretty cool. All the colors. Yeah. So in order to make these two move together for now, I'm just going to connect your text to the text box. I'll move the text box up here, although we could absolutely connect this to something else. For instance, if you're somebody that really likes to have more control over your work, perhaps you could make a null. You should name it, but I shan't for now. And you could connect everything to that null, move it around so it's just a little bit cleaner. And if we wanted, we could choose to animate it there, which I might do. And we've already animated one thing, which is our text box. I'm going to push a U so I can see all of the keyframes on it. We can grab a hold of that, go to our text driver is what I'm going to call this, and paste. So now they're both popping. Cool. But maybe I want it to move slightly at a different time. So I'm just going to move my driver a little bit after. Maybe a little bit sooner. That way we've got a little bit of a toggle, and it's going to do it forever. Awesome. Now we're still thinking about how we're going to add this to the MOGRT. So what I would probably do after this, because I know that I'd want it to stay like this all the time, I would lastly put it inside a composition. We'd call this the text comp. We'll get ready to MOGRT it later. And maybe for the sake of time, let's do one thing that animates out. So if we go again for maybe, we could pick yellow, but we could add our own MOGRTs on top of this. Let's say we have like a spark coming out. It's not really a fill job. I think it's a stroke job. So let me pull this out here. Let's jump into our contents, make it a bit rounded. There it is. Lovely. Of course, we can add fill on this afterwards. And I think I want it to look like it's shooting out. A little less than 10. Aye, aye. What I'm going to do, since I didn't make this in Photoshop first, I'm going to turn it into a comp. I'm going to call it stuff. And we're going to use the pen tool on it. Then we're going to hop into our effects presets, go to stroke. Hello, Anna. Hope you're having a lovely day. We're just looking about how to do some quick vlog MOGRTs. And now we can animate our start and our end. So let's say if my end is at 0, let me get rid of this. We're on the right thing. We are. Is it not working as expected? It might not be. Oh, you know what's up? One, we need mask 1. We need to do reveal on image. That's what it is. Ah, okay. So now we've got end. Let's put it to 100. Make sure that the brush size is big enough for us to see it. So it comes out. Let's keyframe the start and keyframe it to be 100 on the end. So now it's going to go through. Great. We don't have time to make it look prettier than this, but that's fine. And now I'm going to want it to hold like that for a little while. Oh, thank you, Katie. My sis got it for me. And then all you would do again is pop a loop out on this, so it would act like the last one that we did. I'm just going to copy loop out just so it stays where we're expecting it to. Okay. So now we've got one doing this. After this, we would duplicate it. I'm going to move the anchor, rotate this around a little bit. Cool. Move it in a bit. Grab both of these, duplicate it again, flip the horizontal, and maybe move it over. Okay. Stuffing. That's what we're going to call it. All right. So now we're ready for the last step. Step 3. We're going to MOGRT it. Yeah. So all you have to do now is with window open, go and select essential graphics. Let's go back to project. This is the pro tip MOGRT file. So it should already be selected for you. I'm going to make a group for now. I'm going to call this one the text stuff. Now we've got our text and things here. What we can do is add the position. So this means if any, oh, that's not the text. There's the text. If we pop this up here, the person in Premiere will be able to move the text. You can do it so that they can move the scale as well. And if you want to do the transparency, all you have to do is go to the controls, right click, go to expression controls, select on checkbox control, which should now be in your wheelhouse now. And we are going to connect our opacity to our checkbox. We'll pop our checkbox up there and we will actually tweak the expression a little bit by adding a star. That's shift and 8 and 100. So now this will allow you to flick it on and flick it off. Now, bearing on the time, I'm looking at the time here. I prepared something earlier where we've done the same thing. I've animated the text. I've animated the shapes that go around it. We do actually have the background things there as well. I've animated all of these things and I've gone through the position, the rotation, the transparency like we've seen before. And for the text, just in case you're not too sure, let's turn this text back on. And if you did actually put your text inside a comp, dive all the way back in till you can find the actual part of the text. Open up your text and drag in source text. This allows you to change stuff. So the person inside the MOGRT will be able to edit it and tweak it from there. Now, once that you've edited all the stuff that you want to edit, and they're all inside here, you'll go to export motion graphics, you can choose to save it. Well, I think you have to. You can pick where you go and pop it down, add some keywords so you can find it. And then when you go to Premiere Pro, make sure you've got your essential graphics open and you will see your file inside the folder there. Now, I've dragged mine in already. The longer you make the traditional comp of your vlog, normally I make it really, really long and have the stuff looping. So regardless of where I put it, it will always be on. But now when I go and click my MOGRT, I can see on the right-hand side that I've got my group for my frame. I can move my frame over, up or down. I can change the scale of it without having to worry about if my animation is going to change, so I can highlight different things. I've also got my text box, which I can write in. And I can change the color of things as well, including the top color, which was supposed to be green for us, right? So we've got our green, Oh, that's for the back. Huh. And orange. Such interesting colors. I would never have come up with that, I don't think. Okay. So with all this ability to tweak and edit your stuff, if you've got a certain system or a branding or a type of thing down for your blogs that you know that you love and that you use often, animate it, pre-do it, pop it inside After Effects, have it loop endlessly. So all you have to do is apply it to the right places. And if it's too short, you absolutely can just hold Alt and move it over like so. But if you know that your vlogs are normally 20 seconds, I would suggest that you edit the comp size to 20 seconds. That way you don't need to worry about anything. Thanks, Dom. Okay, I hope that was useful. I hope that was really quickenting. Stick around. There's more awesome stuff coming up next. Hope you had fun. Bye.